My name is Leon Francis, and I'm a new North Dakotan. And I want to start by saying, from one good American to a couple of astounding Americans, Scott Hannon and Rob Ford. Oh, sorry.
That's right. We want to hear you, brother.
Thank you for organizing and projecting our voices of common sense to the people that it matters to. Barry Goldwater said, "A government big enough to give you everything that you want is also big enough to take everything away." Truer words have never been spoken. We already have Obama Motors, Obama Energy, Obama Banking, and more czars than I even want to count. And now they want Obamacare. Beware, people. Beware, Americans. And at the risk of sounding like a political terrorist or a Nazi, I'm going to say this. I'm going to utter the 9 most terrifying words in the English dictionary. Not according to me, but according to Ronald Reagan. I'm from the government, and I'm here to help. Thank you.
Good afternoon, fellow patriots. I see there's quite a few of us out here tonight. Why don't you give yourselves a big round of applause? And I think there's someone else here that deserves a round of applause as well. You know, this week, the Common Sense Club has been on the air for 1 year. How about that? It sure gives me a good feeling to see so many people here brave the warm, hot weather on an August day, exercise our First Amendment rights, which are so valuable to us. But we need to remember that the entire Constitution is valuable to us, not just the First Amendment. It's the primary law of the land. I think the folks here tonight share one thing, no matter what our past political affiliations may or may not have been. We all want to restore government to its constitutional limits. As you know, we've strayed badly from that the last 10 or 20 years, and that's the reason why we're here tonight having a tea party. And what are we going to throw overboard tonight, folks? It's not going to be tea. We're throwing overboard the liberal ideas of statism that's destroying this nation and the policies they represent. Many of you here, I'm sure, have been in the military or have had government jobs, and if you have, like I have had both, you've taken an oath, just like the same oath that the congressmen, the people that are our servants in Congress in Washington, D.C. have taken. That oath is to protect, preserve, and defend the Constitution of the United States, and I think we take that oath a lot more seriously than they do, don't you? And because of those violations of that oath, we're facing a train wreck. Rob just alluded to it a few minutes ago. It's a fiscal and monetary train wreck. If you add up all the dollars that are committed to the federal entitlement programs, our national debt that we already have accrued, and the bailout guarantees that we just got in the last few months, totals an astounding figure of almost $85 trillion, folks. That represents about $250,000 for every man, woman, and child in the United States. That's unsustainable. We have got to do something about it.
Get rid of the Federal Reserve.
The gentleman says get rid of the Federal Reserve. That's a good start, and I think a good start to do that is to get the Federal Reserve audited. And there's a bill in Congress that the 2 senators in Minnesota and in North Dakota have not signed on to, and that's the Federal Reserve Transparency Act. They should do that. Well, what solution has Congress proposed for this train wreck coming down the road? Well, They've given us, they want to give us more bureaucratic entitlement programs, more fuel on the fire, more gasoline on the flames, even though the entitlement programs we already have been proven not to work, and you know they're bankrupt. Well, so they want us to borrow even faster and have the train come down the track even bigger and faster. Now that's really dumb, folks. That's really stupid. Now either they're really dumb or they're doing it with intent. And either way is unacceptable to you and certainly to me. Make no mistake about it. We're in a war for the soul of this great nation. Anti-constitutional collectivism, as I'm sure you all know, steals from us. It steals not only our prosperity, but it robs us of our freedom. And it's the breeding ground of tyrants. Well, let me ask one question here. Where in the Constitution, and I haven't found the answer yet, maybe you guys know, where in the Constitution does it give the authority to the federal government to be in the insurance business anyway? It's not there. Not health insurance, not any other kind of insurance. Or they shouldn't be in any kind of business at all. It's the people's business. Where do they get the authority to be in the banking business? They want to run the communications industry. They want to run our schools. And they in fact are doing a good job, or I should say a bad job, of running our schools. They want to bully the sovereign states into doing what they want to do instead of exercising the 10th Amendment rights, and they want to run your individual lives. It doesn't give them that authority in the Constitution. Okay, that's the problem. What's the solution? Well, I'm here to offer a solution. I'm sure some of you maybe have some solutions as well. We're a nation that's founded on popular sovereignty. That means we're the boss, they're our servants, they work for us. Okay. So a simple solution is just promise yourself and have others promise not to vote or endorse any candidates, no matter what party they represent, who have voted for the TARP, who have said they're going to vote or have voted to expand any of the federal health care entitlement programs. Even simpler, you know, I'm sure you're all in favor of a balanced budget. Well, they're never going to have a balanced budget amendment, but you can, in fact, accomplish that same goal 15 months from now in 2010 when all the congressmen are up for re-election. Make sure you don't vote for any congressman that doesn't promise that he's going to make sure that they're not going to raise the national debt another nickel. And that will, in fact, solve the problem right there.
All right, I think if you don't mind, I think we're going to move on to another speaker. I hate to I hate to say that, but we got so many people here. I mean, look at this crowd. We have got a huge crowd here. We got a lot of people that want to speak. So one last statement, sir.
Yes, let me just finish with one last statement, Rob. But this is a defining moment. Now's the time, patriots. We need to act now. Sooner or later, it's going to be too late. And I pray to God that the God of the universe is on our side. Remember, preserve, protect, and defend. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Paul Sorm. I live here in Fargo. I'm a small business owner. I have a family here. I love my job. I have my own business. The last 4 or 5 years have been a dream come true. But as I see the economy falling apart all around us, see our national debt going to astronomical levels, I realize that if we don't have sweeping change in this next election, we're in for a very long road of very, very tough times. I'm very concerned because I have 2 kids who are going to graduate from college in 3, 4, 5 years. I have lots of friends who own their own businesses with children, and I want all of them to have the same opportunities I've had in this great state, both economically, both in terms of our freedom, accessibility that we have in the States. It's a great place to live. This is why I've decided to file paperwork to run against Byron Dorgan for the U.S. Senate in the next election. I have 2 quick thoughts I want to leave you with, and after this tea party, I'll be around. I want to talk to as many of you as I can. You know, I was at this town hall yesterday in Castleton, and I heard the senator say that he hadn't really read the health care bill because it hadn't really been a bill yet. It hadn't been printed. And he said that it would take some time and discussion to really understand what the bill said. He's also stated in the past and written about he's against cap and trade because it might hurt our economy here in North Dakota. He said he's concerned of the impact of forced unionization on businesses through raising prices, artificially high wages, and that might hurt our economy. Let me remind you that the senator has got seniority in his party. He's the chairman of the Democratic Party's policy committee. Every job-killing piece of legislation that's coming out has his stamp of approval on it. So there's a lot of disingenuous type of information being passed from our leadership. There's no clarity of thought. There's no principle behind what they're doing. If it's a job-killing bill, they should stop talking about it. We can't afford it. Let me think. It's an important priority. If it's a job-killing bill, they should stop talking about it. If it's a tax increase, they should stop talking about it, because a tax increase will kill our economy. There's a couple figures most people aren't talking about that really demonstrate where we're at economically. Our national debt has increased compared to our gross domestic product, which is actually decreasing. At the end of 2007, that number is, our debt was 35% of our gross domestic product. At the end of 2008, it was 70%. By the election in 2010, it'll be pretty much equal to our gross domestic product. And let me tell you why that's important. If that ratio gets over 100%, at any point, our economy could quickly spiral downward and collapse completely. And we'll be at a point then where there will be no clear fixes to our economy. This is of grave concern. Our economy is on fire. We need people there with small business experience to fix our economy. I've never wanted to be a senator. I don't want a title. I don't want to be a politician. But I want to save our country, and I'm going to do everything I can to that end. Here's a concept we can all agree on. This isn't about left or right. It's about up or down. Right now we're heading down fast, and there's no reason for it. The solution, simplified regulation, lower tax rates. It works every time it's tried. Remember, my motto is prosperity, not politics.
I am excited. I have been here for 21 years, and I've not seen this kind of enthusiasm, this kind of energy in my 21 years here. All right, a little louder. I grew up in Madison, Wisconsin. I spent time in Boston. I couldn't figure out why those people, how they could just protest all the time. Well, they didn't work. They didn't have jobs. You guys have the jobs. On a serious note, though, on Tuesday this week, I put my papers in to pursue the GOP nomination for Congress in 2010. It was 39 years coming, and it just felt right. My name is Paul Schaffner, and I'm from Bismarck, North Dakota. And one thing about North Dakotans, a lot of people talk about rights in other parts of the country. I have the right for this, I have the right for this, I have the right for that. Well, we understand responsibility. Responsibility to ourselves, responsibility to our communities, responsibility to others, period. That's who we are. That's how we were raised. And I've been very fortunate to be here. Very fortunate to be here in this state, and I look forward to getting around the state and meeting people. And you guys here, keep doing what you're doing, and let's keep the energy going. Thank you.
For the Reagan grassroots groundswell. Since I don't have the advantage of a podium, I've got to do this without one. My notes are, this is Tea Party 2009. The first Tea Party was in 1773. King George III did not like the colonists' Independence Street. and wanted to establish control over colony government. So, in 1765, he enacted the Stamp Act, followed by the Townshend Act of 1767, and then the Boston Massacre of 1770. These led to the Boston Tea Party of 1773. Independent Americans that were willing to stand up and be counted. They were people that were willing to risk life and limb for what they believed in. They are our heritage, our past, and are handed down from generation to generation. What would the Founding Fathers give us? I've seen this sign out here tonight. They gave us a form of limited government that is the envy of the world, that has produced the highest standard of living in the world. None of us should take that lightly. Let's keep reminding ourselves of that daily. There's another flag out here tonight, and I've seen several of them. They say, "Don't tread on me." As a Navy person, a Navy man, this is historic. It went to sea on our first Navy in 1776, and it means the same today that it meant in 1776. Don't forget that. Here we are, it's 2009. This time it's not King George III that's creating havoc with us. Americans this time, it's our own runaway federal government bent on taking away more and more of our freedoms. Never in our history have we had to face some of the challenges that we face today. Healthcare is right at the top of it. This is the largest attempt to control another portion of the economy, in effect federalizing it. The bill that President wanted to sign and seal and put into law before Congress's recess is 1,017 pages long. It is not so much that what it says or does not say. It's unclear the way it's written, and we should be afraid of that. The Senate bill is not much better. It's 635 pages. So what do? We must marshal all forces to make sure that this power grab goes down to an astounding defeat. It needs to send a message loud and clear that was set in 1773. This is our task. Fact is, we have the best health care in the world that has some serious problems that need to be addressed using market forces, not government intrusion. I seen one sign out here tonight that said, what would the Founding Fathers say? Let me quote Thomas Jefferson. He stated the following. He says, "I predict future happiness for Americans if they can prevent the government from wasting the labors of the people under the presence of taking care of them." I have other issues too, but we have a lot of people that want to get up to the mic, and I certainly don't want to be one that takes it all.
Thank you, Vern.
I have one closing statement from, again, one of our founding fathers. When the people fear their government, this is tyranny. When the government fears the people, there is liberty. Thank you.